Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 55. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast, where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. How are you this Friday afternoon, Ja?
I'm cool.
That's good to hear. I'm doing good as well. It is a day before the weekend, so get through the day and you can relax for the rest of the day and the rest of the next 2 days. But it seemed like a lot of relaxing in last night's games because only a few teams showed up in each game. But before we get to those games, there was, of course, the All-Star starters were announced and the All-Star captains last night. So we're going to get into that, react to those. So let's get into it. First, from the Eastern Conference, we'll start there. Starting in the backcourt, Bradley Beal and Kyrie Irving. In the front court, Kevin Durant, Embiid, and Giannis. Before we go to the Western Conference, any reaction, any thoughts on that? And by the way, Kevin Durant is the captain of that team, getting the most votes.
Okay. Yes.
Which
there's only one, but actually it's a surprise, but it's like, I'm not upset or feel weird about it. But it's that Kyrie Irving pick. Like, with the way that, with the ones that we chose for that spot, because we had Bradley Beal a part of that starting backcourt. So that was a given. But Kyrie Irving has been having a really great season also. And the fact that we truly, I feel like even in our minds, we gave him recognition, we just never really truly said it on paper. I don't have no shame with him being in the starting lineup. Surprisingly.
Yeah, me neither. Kyrie Irving, ever since he came back from the 8 games that he took off, he's been absolutely balling for the Nets.
Yeah.
Hasn't missed a beat. Doing what he does best, prime time type of player. Besides the game which he didn't choose to take shot against the Raptors, that was the only game in the last 17 games.
Yeah.
Besides that, yeah, he's just been a star for the Nets. He's been that elite scorer that they need. Yeah. So yeah, I have no complaints for Kyrie Irving being in the starting line.
He's the 2 guard.
Yeah, and he's 2 guard. James Harden the point guard. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, that was the only difference in our all-star starters from our list. So it's good to hear. That was pretty. I think everybody was pretty, fine with that.
Accurate. Yeah. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that starting lineup at all.
Yeah, I think your man's might be in danger though.
Who's that? Oh, Levine. Oh yeah.
You think these coaches gonna vote?
No. Let's be honest. They've been snubbing him since last season. No.
Well, the reserves aren't just the coaches. I think the media and the players as well.
To me it don't matter. I still say no. Because then with the fact that because Jaylen Brown is counted as a backcourt player, right? So if you count him as a backcourt player, look who he got to go against. He has to go against Harden, Brown, Young, and well, no, they're gonna have him over Brogdon.
Simmons, watch Simmons get in.
Yeah, Simmons, it's just I just don't at this point with him not being in the start line. I don't have much faith in that.
I feel like he has more of a case to make it this year than he had last year, and last year he was snubbed, and he had a strong case.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see what happens. That's the Eastern Conference starting lineups for the All-Star game. So let's go to the West. Starting with the front court this time, Jokic, LeBron, Leonard, and in the backcourt, Steph Curry, and we did get a tie for the second spot in the backcourt between Damian Lillard and Luka Doncic. And as the rules state, as a tie happens, that goes to the fan vote, and the fan vote had Luka over Dame. So Luka edged out Dame in the starting lineup, getting that all-star starting lineup selection. Your thoughts? And by the way, LeBron, of course, was the leading vote getter for the Western Conference, getting the captain. Yeah, your thoughts
Um,
on this?
well, the guaranteed locks. We already said this last episode. Curry, James, Jokic. Oh shoot,
Kawhi?
and Kawhi. Yeah, Kawhi. Yeah. Even though it was debatable on two of them, we already had those four kind of like locked in our minds as who's
Yeah.
going to be the starter. Of course, PG had no chance. He was injured the whole time. But like, to be honest, with that backcourt, again, even though it was debatable, you can't go wrong with it too. Like, even though we both had Damian Lillard, we feel like Damian Lillard deserved to be in that spot just by a little bit more than Luka. You can't go wrong with Luka. Luka's been, again, he's been dominating from an individual standpoint since the beginning, and he has not let up yet. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been doing this since he was 13, and now he's only 22, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with Luka. I can't argue with Luka. But yeah, we both had Dame. I felt like Dame presented the stronger case just by a tad bit.
Yeah,
And the Blazers have been playing winning basketball with him at the helm, and him being the main reason without two key offensive contributors.
yeah,
So that's why I had picked Dame, but I can't be wrong with Luka. I mean, he's having a great season.
yeah. Hey, and at the end of the day, when I look at these whole things, I'm like, regardless if you don't make the starting lineup, it don't matter. As long
As
as
long
you
as you
know,
make an all-star
yeah,
team.
All-Star
Yep.
game, that's all that matters. You're a guaranteed lock. If you know you've been playing at a great, really great high level for majority of the season, in which things have been going your way and the team's way, in some kind of ways, at times, I really feel like should be more the players' way rather than the team way. But it's just like, as long as you make the All-Star game, it don't matter if you come off the bench or you get the starting lineup. You still got the nod. So it shouldn't really matter.
Yep. Those were the all-star starters from both conferences, and also the captains, by the way, will have the option to choose who they want to be, who they want to have on their team for the all-star game, just like last year. So yeah. But all in all, pretty good all-star starting lineup. Can't really complain. I mean, we got most of it correct. Only missed on two spots with the backcourts from both conferences, Kyrie and Luka. We did not choose them. But I mean, how can you go against that starting line? That's just a great line.
You just can't, to be honest.
Yeah. Next week, the All Star reserves will be announced, and if Julius Randle is not there, I'm not doing this episode. But I'm not doing the episode. Nonetheless, like I said, All Star reserves will be announced there, and next week we will do our predictions or our opinions for our reserves
Yeah.
before that is announced. So check out for that. Be aware of that. All right, now on to the games from last night. Starting with the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers, a possible finals matchup. Kyrie did return from this game. KD still out with his hamstring injury. Might miss a couple more games. We'll see. Of course, obviously, Anthony Davis is out for the Lakers. And let's start off with the Lakers. A good note for them. LeBron James had a dominant performance. And in that dominant performance, he did reach 35,000 points, the third player all time
Yeah.
to reach that point total. Of course, the two others being Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So just another stat, another just
What I
uh
call him?
what?
What do I
Oh,
call
Wash King.
him? Wash King. That's the
Yep,
dude.
people
Like,
say he's Wash King, but yeah, he just reached 35K in his 18th year. It's just ridiculous what he's doing. It's never that's not gonna happen again. Never gonna be touched. You know,
nope.
it's another moment, another level of greatness added to LeBron's already iconic resume and iconic career.
Yeah.
But besides that, because that was really the only positive thing that happened for the Lakers, the Nets controlled this game for basically from start to finish. Uh, uh, James Harden and Kyrie were just in
Yeah.
sync throughout the game. James Harden with another double double in terms of points and assists. 23 on the night for points. I believe he had 11 assists,
Yeah.
and they were shooting the lights out against this Lakers team. I mean, they feel like they couldn't really miss from the 3-point line. And every time the Lakers tried to get close, tried to get within, single digits, got within 10, got within single digits a few times, but then the Nets would just pull away,
Yeah.
and that's really how the game went, and that's how the Nets was able to beat the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like there's nothing really much that really needs to be said. Like for me, I'm not counting this game at all. Like both teams need to be fully healthy and fully together, fully aware for me to count this as a truly potential finals preview that we've seen. No
Mm-hmm.
AD, of course. The Lakers look out of it. They look wounded. And I'm not going to use the quote because I've been using it a lot, but they look wounded. Just know that for a fact. And no KD on the other side, and it's just like but it was still a one-side advantage when you still got two of the best offensive players in the world playing on the same team still, along with the fact that you have a deadly offense where everyone who could get hot out of nowhere. So it's just like I don't count this game, to be honest. I'm sorry, I just don't.
There's another reason for Ja to not give credit to James Harden. So I see why you won't count this game. But I do understand what you mean. Yeah, both teams really do have to be healthy for you to properly analyze this battle. So how can you really go into detail about it?
Exactly.
So yeah, we just have to wait until possibly if they reach the finals. If both
Yeah.
teams reach the finals. That may not happen. Yeah, that's really all that happened in that game. Good win by the Nets team. The Lakers really didn't have much going. Kuzma did step up for them in the needs of everything else, points, rebounds, and just making an effort, but they needed more. They couldn't get that. And as a result, the Nets was able to win this game. All right. Going to the earlier game in the night, it was the Raptors and the Bucks, and basically the same thing happened. basically. Similarly, the Bucks did keep it competitive. Yeah, the Bucks kept it competitive, not the Raptors. The Bucks kept it competitive in the early going. Giannis did as much as he could, even though the Raptors were just hounding him, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone focused on him, almost reminiscent of 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and also a couple games ago where the Raptors beat the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I mean, the Raptors just really just had all the effort, all the energy, all the hustle, all the intensity. Norman Powell was just had it going throughout the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siakam,
Siakam,
played,
Fred VanVleet. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Fred VanVleet. I mean, them boys just really did everything could to just keep the Bucks down, and the Bucks tried to get back in the game. They got within 10 here and there, but they couldn't get past the hump. And the Raptors always just put more points on the board to create that space.
Yeah.
And as a result, the Raptors beat the Bucks again.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing really much to be said. You know how we always talk about how instead of making the star player beat you, or like make somebody else on the team beat you. Or that's basically the philosophy went the other way. They just like, hey, let Giannis do what he has to do. We're going to hound him, but we're going to still make him do what he got to do, and we're going to try to limit the others. Chris Middleton had a struggling game, and
Saying that a
along
lot
with
recently.
yep, and just the rest of the team just couldn't really get it going. It was just all Giannis.
Yeah, and I feel like the coaching strategy is just the same with this Bucks
Yeah,
team. Give the ball to Giannis. Their half court offense, as you mentioned so many times, is terrible. Their half court offense is really terrible.
yeah,
Just give the Giannis the ball, let him go up the court, Have them like have like an isolation play. Have them drive it to the paint. Either kick it out or lay the ball up if it's just one on one. Kick it out if multiple players come. It's just the same thing
Yeah.
over and over and over from Mike Budenholzer's strategy of this Bucks team. That is not going to get it done. If I see this in the playoffs, let's hope they make the playoffs because the Bucks have not been playing well.
Nah, they ain't gonna make the playoffs, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
They
they
gonna
can
make
make the playoffs.
they gonna make
But yeah, that was the frustration out of me. But because I'm
it.
getting frustrated because of the way they're playing. And this is yes, they we've been saying yes, they missed Drew Holiday, but now really looking at the game against the Raptors, this is more of a Drew Holiday. This is more than just a missing a player thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been missing him for some time, but why are you still like you have not made adjustments, you have not made any changes, and you're losing the same way.
Yeah.
Now the Bucks they've been struggling and they lost 5 straight.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Bucks. Mike Budenholzer is just the reigning coach of the year. Giannis is the reigning MVP, back-to-back reigning MVP, back-to-back defensive player. Chris Middleton is a back-to-back All-Star.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well,
So that's why the frustration came out of me. Yes, keep it calm and not like casuals. They are going to make the playoffs. I do believe they're going to make the playoffs, but they won't get far if they keep this trend.
you know what they need to do? They need to take a page out the Clippers book of what they did this season. The Clippers, a team who had no true structure or kind of system set in play. Like, they revamped through the summer, and as a result, they came in with more of a set offensive everything or how they want their offensive system to flow and everything. And as a result, they've been doing successful. The Bucks, well, specifically Budenholzer, needs to learn from that and see what kind of system could he integrate for his team that doesn't evolve like constantly having to dump it to Giannis and then try to work out of that as much. There needs to be some better kind of flow.
Yeah, it's getting really frustrating. Watching this Bucks team losing the same way over and over and over again. Some point, some changes need to be made, but we'll wait for a later part in the season to the playoffs hit to see if they learned from their mistakes.
Yeah.
As for the Raptors, good win by the Raptors, and yeah, for that bad start earlier this season, they're staying in the playoff spot.
Yeah.
Staying within that positioning, which is good for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they oh, by the way, I made a mistake. I said Mike Budenholzer was the reigning coach of the year. Nick Nurse is the reigning coach of the year. Mike Budenholzer won it 2 years ago, I believe, right?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did one 2 years ago, yes.
But as I was saying, yeah. A good win by the Raptors team. Disappointing struggles by the Bucks team. Hopefully they can get together soon. Probably won't happen before the All-Star break, so we have to wait until after.
Yeah.
All right. The only other game that happened, because it was only 3 games, was the Miami Heat and the Sacramento Kings. And same thing happened in that game. not much, not much really, competitive basketball from last night.
Yeah, it was on Miami from beginning to end. The Kings tried their best to bring it into just they still was in double digits, but they try to erase the deficit a little bit, make it into more of a 10-point game instead of a 20-point game. But nah, that wasn't happening. That wasn't happening.
Yeah.
The Heat was trying to make sure they closed it out. They needed this win anyways.
And he really did a great job on limiting the offensive production from their probably 3 best offensive players, that being De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and young rookie Tyrese Halliburton, who really struggled last night. They made De'Aaron Fox become a passer, and even though he's a good passer and he made plays, he's more effective scoring the ball. That's when he gets into his rhythm, and that's what helps Kings win games. But you take that away, okay, you can get 10 assists, but you're not going to get the win, though.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way of winning is De'Aaron Fox scoring. Took that away. Buddy Hield was struggling. As a result, the Heat, Bam Adebayo, triple-double. Jimmy Butler, triple-double. By the way, I think he's had 4 triple-doubles in the past week.
Yep. He has. That's that leadership mentality and the willpower needing to carry. Like, I'm not gonna say carry the team because he hasn't been carrying the team. It's been equal between him and Adebayo and just like
Mm.
team effort. But like again, he's their star player and he embodies this heat culture. He's gonna do everything that he can, whether it's on the stat sheet or just by eye test to make sure this team try to get the win.
Yeah. And as a result, the Heat win and are back on their winning ways. Let's see if they can stay within that and get into that playing game um playoff picture spot.
Yeah. It was kind of going to be a rough night for the Kings, but then Marvin Bagley had it going.
That's
I
so
just had
disrespectful.
Sorry, I just had to say that.
No, I mean, yeah, he was the only one that had it going. Yeah, a good win by the Heat. All right, now it is prediction time for tonight's set of game. For tonight's set of games, um, pretty good lineup in terms of the amount of games. So let's get right into it. First, starting off with the Golden State Warriors up against the Magic. Who you got?
Warriors,
The Warriors, the Nuggets, or the Cavaliers?
Nuggets.
Was a little upset. I got the Cavs. The first primetime game on ESPN 7:30 of the doubleheader features the Chicago Bulls up against the Philadelphia 76ers.
76ers.
Another upset. I got the Bulls. let's hope they reward me with my choice of picking. I mean, the Bulls have been actually playing really well lately.
They have. You're not lying about that. They have.
The Hawks or the Celtics rematch from a couple of nights ago, which the Hawks won. You got the
Hawks.
Hawks. Wow. A little confidence in the Hawks. I got the Celtics though.
Don't let them
The
disappoint you.
what?
Don't let them disappoint you now.
Yeah, that's another struggling team in the Eastern Conference. We
Yeah.
shall see. We shall see. The Pistons or the Grizzlies?
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies. The Thunder or the struggling Bucks?
Bucks.
Bucks. What?
Nothing. Let's move on.
Come on, because I just went in on them, and then I gotta pick them. Even though the Thunder last time they played, the Thunder won.
Yes, the Thunder did win. Yes, they did. Justin Jackson did that to them.
Yeah, I was about to say also Justin Jackson. Well, anyway, the Suns or the Pelicans?
Suns.
Suns. Oh my dark horse against your surprise team.
Yeah.
The Raptors against the Timberwolves.
I'm gonna go upside. I'm gonna go with the T-Wolves.
I'm gonna go with the Raptors. The next and last game of the night, the end of the doubleheader, prime time features the red hot
Jazz.
up against the Clippers.
It's versus Clippers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jazz.
Back-to-back games.
Jazz.
Yeah, I think Paul George and Kawhi are still out. So
yeah,
Jazz, who've won
unless
20
it,
out of last 21.
unless if Blake Griffin, unless if Blake Griffin and Chris Paul come back and Blake Griffin turn back the clock of time and then
Why? So they could lose again, just like they did in
don't
2017.
do that. Exactly my point.
They lost to Gordon Hayward and Joe Johnson.
It was the game winner.
35-year-old Joe Johnson?
Yep, game winner in game one. Ruined their whole
that was so embarrassing. Oh my gosh.
They
did suffer injuries towards the end, but
it don't matter. It don't matter. I sold Joe.
I sold Joe. Yep, I sold Joe.
Cool.
He did do that against them. He did do that against them. But all right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Nay.
Hey, by the way, there was a little quick update on Anthony Davis. he was announced to be the injury extended for just 4 weeks. Now they don't want to take any chances on the calf, so they rush him back too early. It can end really badly. So
Yeah,
they just want to take all the time they need, as they should, because they need him for the
yeah,
second half of the season, mainly the postseason.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just a little update on AD. Well,
And also, think I don't know if we mentioned this, but also, again, if you guys don't remember our picks from the last episode, where we'll have it up when we were talking about like the All-Star starters and like what was our picks and who actually became the starters, of course.
yeah. What?
Good night.
Well, with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also, follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan,
I'm Ja.
and this was the Mind of Basketball Podcast.
Take care, fam.